deal with the first question. The first question is this: with everything that is going on in the world today, is wanting to protect your kids by having them in a private school sheltering them too much? Well, I appreciate the question. I would first say, is there such a thing as sheltering your children too much? I would say that we as parents have that God-given responsibility to to shelter our children from the ungodliness of this world. We are to help lead them and to guide them towards righteousness and holiness. And so I would have to, first ask that, is there such a thing as sheltering your children too much? And I know that's an argument that some people give for not wanting to send their kids to private school, or it's an argument they use against people who do have their children in private school. Well, let me just say we have our kids in private school. I'm not against necessarily. I love our public school administrators. I love our public school teachers. We have many godly Christian administrators and godly teachers who are doing their very best to influence children in public schools with righteousness and holiness and Christian character. And so I want them to know how much I appreciate their work. But it's really not biblical to say that you're sheltering your kids too much if you have them in a private school. I think the same argument could be used the other way. Are you exposing your children too much by sending them to public school? I think it's up to individual parents to do what they feel is best for their family and for their children. And I don't think necessarily that it's right for either side to throw stones. We had our reasons for sending our children to public schools, and I'm not going to tell my private stories publicly. I just think a person needs to pray and they need to seek the face of God. But I don't think that you're sheltering your children too much if you send them to a private school. It's really nobody else's business what you do with your kids, but I don't think you're sheltering them too much. With all the ungodliness that's going on in the world today, I don't even know that you can do that. How do you? I mean, lock them in. Maybe if you're shutting them in a bubble and you're zipping it up and you're not letting them get out of the bubble, maybe we could argue against sheltering them too much. But just sending them to private school to say that you're sheltering them too much is absolutely can I just be honest with you? It's a stupid argument. Not trying to offend anyone, but I do try to be honest. I'd ask the pastor. I tell you like it is, and I shoot straight down the line. And I think that many of you appreciate that about me. So there's my answer. And thank you for sending that question in.